The following program is the work of the broadcast students of the British Columbia Institute of Technology. BCIT magazine features news stories from around the Lower Mainland which were produced over the last week. Responsibility for the content of the show rests completely with the students and their instructors.
Today on BCIT Magazine.
An update on an alleged hostage situation at a Surrey bank.
The location of this year's 420 celebrations sparks controversy.
And a former radio host continues to make a living despite a changing media landscape. Hello and welcome to BCIT Magazine. I'm Roisin Iyer.
And I'm Conley Mostert. After an alleged voyeur incident that took place in 2015 recently became public, new information has been released by a BCIT executive.
Local media is reporting that the new incident involves sexual assault allegations against a BCIT student employee that took place last year. Despite media attention, BCIT says they're unable to comment further on this investigation. We'll be following up on this story in our future broadcasts.
In other news, Surrey RCMP had a 6-hour standoff with an alleged bank robber earlier this week. RCMP received a distress call at 8:30 a.m. from this TD bank. They were able to get out of all staff and customers, but it took until 2:30 p.m. to locate and arrest the suspect, who some witnesses say was armed. Bystanders watched as they shut down 72nd Avenue from King George Boulevard to 138th Street with a heavy police presence.
On scene here, you'll see our Lower Mainland Integrated Emergency Response Team, along with our patrol units, police dog services, and the robbery unit. So right now, our paramount concern is public safety.
Anyone with information is asked to contact Surrey RCMP.
The Vancouver Park Board is raising concerns about a 420 pot smoking event set to light up Sunset Beach. My co-anchor Conley Mostert has more.
This is what the Vancouver 420 Festival has looked like for the past few years. Thousands of cannabis enthusiasts gathering outside the Vancouver Art Gallery in protest of the criminality of marijuana. Now, for the first time since 1997, organizers behind the event are planning to take their demonstration elsewhere. This is Sunset Beach and the current host of this year's Smoke-a-thon, but the Vancouver Parks Board is hoping to change that.
I am very hopeful that the Mayor will step up and work with the City staff and the Vancouver Park Board staff to identify an alternate and more suitable location for 420.
But organizers of the 420 Festival think they've found as suitable a location as they come and plan to show up, regardless of the Parks Board's concerns.
Sunset Beach is a perfect location. I'm very excited about moving there, and I think it's all going to go really smoothly and really well.
One of the central issues the Vancouver Parks Board has with Sunset Beach is the water. At last year's 420, 63 people required medical attention of some kind. But Dana Larson says there won't be much swimming in April. And he said even if there is, he'll have lifeguards here to ensure everything goes smoothly.
The VPB still hasn't heard anything from the city, 2 months away from Vancouver's 21st annual 420 festivities. Conley Mostert in Vancouver for BCIT Magazine.
WorkSafe BC is taking an asbestos removal contractor to court for the third time. And as my co-anchor Roisin Iyer found out, this time they want jail time.
Yeah, I understand this. I've seen a lot of loss as a result of this, and I'm impacted negatively with my health as well. I have lung
Lee
cancer
Loft, a
problems.
third-generation asbestos worker, is supporting WorkSafe BC during a contempt of court hearing. Asbestos was commonly used as insulation in buildings before the 1990s. It's safe when untouched, but the fibers are highly toxic and can cause cancer if handled or inhaled directly. It's the leading cause of workplace deaths in BC.
I've sat at more beds than I care to count and watched people die. I've sat at more kitchen tables and helped family manage the last days of people's lives. I need to find a way that has to stop.
Contractors Mike and Sean Singh are accused of breaching asbestos safety regulations for workers. And it's not the first time the contractors have been in court. In 2012, a judge found them in breach of several regulations. In 2013, they were found in contempt of that court order and were ordered to pay a fine of $15,000. In the BC Supreme Court, lawyers for WorkSafe BC argued for jail time for the contractors, something the BC Federation of Labour supports.
If you have a case where somebody walks around with a vial of poison and is putting it in people's food, we'd find that person and we'd put them in jail. That's what we're looking for here.
Meanwhile, the Singhs and their lawyer refused to speak on camera, saying they would make an on-camera statement after the trial ended. The Singhs say they've done nothing wrong. They allege that the WorkSafe BC lawsuit is due to racism. The trial is expected to last 3 days.
It's just not right.
Roshi Nair in Vancouver for BCIT Magazine.
Coming up next on BCIT Magazine.
We learn about pioneering for Heritage Week.
And TransLink moves ahead with their plans to close more Compass Card gates.
A defining moment for me was when I finished my first internship and got lots of really great feedback from industry professionals.
I would have never imagined I'd be walking into the floors of TSN and thinking, I'm not a student anymore, I'm here to work.
I will be starting a job with an investigative news program in Toronto, and I'm really excited to see that grow into what will become, hopefully, my dream job.
BCIT Broadcast and Online Journalism, putting you to work.
The most rewarding thing for me has been the relationships I developed in the program, both with instructors and classmates.
My sense of confidence has never been higher. I mean, this program's offered great opportunities to be in real world, real industry situations, and being in those moments and knowing I can contribute, I can do this.
It's exciting to be in this industry and to meet lots of great people and to make amazing friends.
BCIT Broadcast and Online Journalism, realizing your potential.
What do George Simpson of the Hudson Bay Company and Governor James Douglas have in common? Well, they're pioneers. And this week it's Heritage Week. We sent our reporter Katie Johnson down to Fort Langley to learn more about them.
Hi, I'm Katie Johnson, and it's Heritage Week, so I'm honoring our forefathers by attempting pioneer tasks here at Fort Langley, a national historic site that dates back to the 1800s, British Columbia.
Today I'm going to be taking you around the site, experiencing some of the various exhibits that we have set up for the public, and letting you get hands-on and experience some of the history here that we have to offer.
Sounds good. Okay, let's get started. What's up first?
First thing, we're going to start you with the blacksmith shop. That's why we're standing right here.
Okay.
So I've got a nice hot coal fire rip roaring, and we're going to put some metal in there. We're going to get you gloved up and aproned up, and we're going to let you swing the hammer a little bit today. You got to look the part, right? Right now we're just doing what's called a draw. A draw is simply hammering away from yourself like this. Okay? So try hitting right here. There you go. Hit it nice and flat.
Hit it flat?
Yep. So there you go, just like that. Perfect.
Starting to look like the nail.
Starting to come together now. As you can tell, it takes a while to actually get the hang of doing the appropriate hit at the appropriate time, but you did an excellent job. And with just a little minor adjustment, we're able to draw that metal to a point.
So we're at our gold panning station. How does Fort Langley tie into the gold rush boom, I guess?
Well, you know, the very start of our province of British Columbia really is closely tied into the gold rush. We first became a British colony in 1858, and that is the exact same year where about 30,000 gold panners from around the world descended upon British Columbia in order to try to find their fortunes in the Fraser River. But the more rocks, the more chance you have of having gold in there. There's a couple pieces in there, but you know what? Don't count yourself out yet. I bet you'll find a little something in there. And what do you know?
Look at that.
Everybody finds a piece.
Hey guys, I'm rich.
Well, you know, I thought this was a great place to finish because where we're standing is right in front of the building where BC really began. This building is recreating the big house where the Proclamation of BC was read in 1858.
Well, that's a wrap. Better go back to 2016, I think.
Take care.
SkyTrain users may have noticed something a little different about their commute this week. TransLink is testing fare gates as part of the next phase of their Compass card rollout. But as Sergio Vargas reports, that doesn't mean that there's an end date in sight.
The gates are closed here at Stadium Chinatown, but there's still a ways to go before this becomes permanent.
Well, today's just a test, and we've been doing tests like this for the past several weeks now. So we've been rotating at several stations along the line to test full gate closure scenario, and that is really an opportunity for our customers to know what it's going to be like when all of the gates are fully closed.
The fare gates were announced in July of 2011 and were originally scheduled to be active in the spring of 2013. We're now 5 years from that announcement date, and the original price tag of $171 million has ballooned to over $190 million. After all this, TransLink says it's getting closer to the time when the gates will be closed for good.
We're getting closer to a full gate closure scenario. You know, we're still taking a phased-in approach, and we want to make sure that we give our customers enough time to make the switch.
But when asked when the final switch will happen, they gave no indication for a set timetable.
More and more people are making that switch, but we want to make sure that we're really confident that we've switched on more people. So as we've done with each step of our Compass rollout, we'll make sure that we give customers plenty of notice before all gates are closed.
And those customers, although a little bothered, didn't seem to mind all that much.
To me it's fine because I don't use fare saver tickets. I use the Compass card, so to me it's fine.
I like this better because it's faster, and I use my phone a lot, so you can reload on the app, so you don't have to wait in line. So it's pretty good. So.
It's a little bit of an inconvenience for me because I always have to take the bus to get to the SkyTrain, so I have to buy the older tickets. So it kind of gets in my way.
For now, the gates will only remain shut for 12 hours a day during the testing periods. Sergio Vargas in Vancouver for BCIT Magazine.
We are now joined by our reporter, Sergio Vargas, who's at Stadium Chinatown Station. Now, Sergio, what has TransLink said about when the gates will be closed?
Yeah, well, the main focus today was really educating the public on the gates. As you can see behind me, people are coming in and out, and a lot of them were kind of confused as to what they had to do when they walked up to the gate. As for the future, TransLink doesn't really have a set timeline on what they're going to see. They don't have set dates yet. What they did say was that they will implement these tests in other stations like King George and New Westminster in order to educate more of the people around Metro Vancouver using transit.
And we're getting reports that people are being delayed when all the fare gates are closed. Did TransLink address any of this?
Well, they didn't really have an answer to that, to be honest with you. We did ask them about some of the log jams that people say were happening at the gates. But all they said was that staff will be made available throughout these tests, no matter what station they're at, in order to help people. But after they think people have been educated, we don't really know what's going to happen, so we'll just have to wait and see. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Sergio. The UFC is one of the fastest growing sporting companies in the world, but as our reporter Shaquille Majuri found out, some fighters are still fighting for scraps.
Kelowna's Sarah Morris competes for the world's largest fight organization, the UFC. Millions of viewers have watched her fight, but she says unless you're a top-tier star like Ronda Rousey, chances are the lifestyle isn't as glamorous as it seems.
Most of us competing in the UFC don't make a whole lot of money. We have day jobs, and then when we're in fight camp, well, for me, I try to take it off of work so that I'm just focused on training.
Most professional fighters make a fraction of what other pro athletes are paid, and most expenses fall on the fighter. Morris says the cost of preparing for a fight is roughly $12,000. Her pay for showing up to compete, $12,000.
So every week that I'm not working, I'm not getting paid, so that makes it difficult. And just eating super clean and taking supplements and to make sure that I'm healthy, which, yeah, adds up.
People that could easily be world champions not be able to survive the distractions of life. So relationships, financial worries, personal problems, health, all the things that distract you through life. For a fighter, you have to be able to put those to the side, otherwise you will not have a career.
It's kind of funny. I'm like in the spotlight for the one day at the UFC and everyone knows who I am, and then the next day I'm sort of like back to my regular self at a regular job doing regular people things.
Financial struggles, injuries, and high stress levels are all major obstacles for UFC fighters.
At her 3-fight winning streak halted by Marion Renault.
In spite of all this, however, Morris says she loves the learning and challenge of competing, so fans of hers can look forward to watching a long career. But maybe not from this angle. Shaquille Madrid in Kelowna for BCIT Magazine.
Biathlon is an emerging sport in British Columbia, and BC's best biathletes were on display this weekend. Amar Khan has this story.
Main part is cross-country skiing. You come in after every lap and shoot 5 times, and you ski a penalty lap of how many misses you had.
Cross-country, it's a high-intensity sport, and shooting, you have to really cool down, and that's the mix of the two who makes the sport interesting.
The sportsmanship it's really nice. Everyone's really friendly, and even if you're trying to beat each other, you're still like friends and you're supporting each other.
Still coming into the finish line, still pushing hard. Look at these athletes still pushing hard right to the finish. They pulled up once in a while, but skied very strongly.
I would say everybody can try, then it takes a lot of practice to get good at it.
And Quinn, push it, every second counts.
There's a lot of recreational races between the serious ones, so anyone can come and join and try it out.
Coming up next on BCIT Magazine,
a former radio host explains how he's embraced the digital world.
And we head to the Great Hall to ask some students some quirky questions.
I chose BCIT because I know that all the programs are very hands-on. We have our own radio station, like it's one of the best programs that I've ever heard of.
I am starting a job on Monday, so confidence is high.
Honestly, I didn't think it was going to be this fun.
Standby graphics, ready, camera one.
If you want to experience the fast-paced world of news,
Today on BCIT Magazine, striking,
make magic on a movie set,
frame,
and action,
or bring your creative ideas to life, BCIT's hands-on training will get you started. BCIT Television and Video Production. Your possibilities start here.
Hi there, I'm Lindsay Howe. Welcome to this week's edition of Community Calendar. The Vancouver Mountain Film Festival is now on at a number of theaters in the Lower Mainland. Come out to watch local and international outdoor adventure films. The event runs until February 20th. You should go and love yourself and buy yourself some tickets to Justin Bieber's Purpose World Tour coming to Rogers Arena on March 11th. You can expect Bieber to sing some of his smash hits, including What Do You Mean, Sorry, and Where Are You Now? Levitt Machinery and the BCIT have come together to put on a golfing event at One Under Golf in Vancouver. The event features golf simulators and the chance to play with BCIT faculty member Glenna Erbschatt. The event also features food and a bar with non-alcoholic and alcoholic beverages. February 24th marks Pink Shirt Day, a day dedicated to bullying prevention. A panel has been created to discuss the causes of bullying and what can be done to combat it.
A recent British study suggests that despite major job losses, radio is not a dying art and that audiences are still tuning in. Our reporter Kyle Balzer investigates how the audio world is turning more digital.
The Toddcast podcast on toddhancock.ca.
Yo, it's me, Dean.
Todd Hancock was a Vancouver radio personality for 14 years. He's now turned to the online world of podcasting to satisfy his passion for broadcasting good interviews and showcasing local talent.
Well, I have the creative freedom to play any music that I want to play, talk to anybody that I want to talk to. It's a lot of work. I'm working way more than radio by a landslide, 4 or 5 times probably the amount.
Hancock says podcasting has given him the leeway to play whatever he desires, despite the long hours.
Like I think that terrestrial radio already plays enough Nickelback and Metallica and Foo Fighters, and it's super important to support local music, of course indie music. I also think that terrestrial radio should do a better job of that.
A recent study by Rahar Audio Measurement in the UK says 24% of people listen to radio while studying or working, 20% listen to their favorite radio station while commuting, and 14% while performing daily household chores. High listenership occurs between 7:30 and 8:30 a.m. Meanwhile, online podcasts are increasing at a modest pace. The United States Annual State of the Media Study for 2015 says awareness of podcasting has more than doubled since 2006, and exactly 1/3 of Americans have listened to a podcast during that period. Listenership itself has doubled since 2008. Still, it seems radio is far from being down and out just yet.
It's a lot more convenient than podcasts. Like, you don't have to sign up for anything or log on.
I phone into contests all the time. Yeah, and I don't think podcasts really have any contests. They're kind of staged, so.
It's always going to be around. I think that radio is just going to be that long-time dinosaur that will just remain. I haven't really made a huge effort to get back into it because I don't want to. I want to continue to do this. I want to see. I'm one of those guys, like once I start something, I'm going to go until the wheels fall off.
Kyle Balzer in Vancouver for BCIT Magazine.
Our reporter Kyle Balzer joins us now to talk more about the future of podcasts. Kyle, does the British study say anything about streaming moving forward?
Well, the Roger Audio Measurement Study also suggests that people do listen to radio on their own time on their personal devices. Now, of course, this comes across from tablets, smartphones, computers being the #1 option at 42%. Now, let's not forget, this study was only in the UK, but they do suggest that people all over the world, for that matter, do try to look for that listen again option on their favorite radio station. The majority of the age range is from 35 to 54.
Right, and what do Canadian experts say about this? Have you spoken with anyone yet?
Yes, in fact, earlier today I got in touch with Dr. Martin Laba. He's a media and popular culture expert over at Simon Fraser University. Now, unfortunately, he was unavailable for comment directly on camera, but did say in an email that he believes traditional radio, talking about car stereos and handheld ones, is taking a back seat given the new emerging digital age of media. Now, of course, the new tech-savvy world, to use his words, has been wanting to have stronger access, more quicker access, if you will, to their personal podcast downloads, whether it be talk shows, music, or any other option that they may have. He believes that this is where the shift is going to be taking place in the years to come. Back to you.
Thanks, Kyle. Do you have a business that's in need of some Dragon dollars? Dragon's Den, the TV show, will be in British Columbia hosting auditions. They're looking for local entrepreneurs to pitch some creative business ideas to them.
Back by popular demand and over 1,200 views on YouTube, our reporters Amar Khan and Amrit Gill are back in the Great Hall, questioning students about their favorite celebrities and childhood memories.
Hi, my name's Amar.
My name is Amrit.
And today we're going to talk to some students at BCIT to find out more about them.
We're going to make you laugh. We'll do our best. We're not that funny.
Pretty funny.
Funny looking.
In an assembly, and there was like music people performing, and I was sitting in the front row in the assembly, and one came up to me and put his hand out, picked me up, and he was dragging me throughout in front of the whole school.
It was like in grade 3, and a little girl took me out behind the school and taught me how to kiss. It was awful.
I think I watched my friend break his pinky and ran away.
Swinging a cat around with his tail.
We were running away from this house, and he didn't see the edge. There was like an edge to this guy's garden, and I did. And I jumped over it, and he fell and broke his arm, and I just kept running, and he was just like running with like a broken arm, and like he went all the way home. Had to go to the hospital.
What's your embarrassing childhood email?
bratforlife@yahoo.com.
Sportyboy22, because I thought sports were really cool when I was in grade 8.
My childhood email? I didn't have an email as a child.
I would not want to be a celebrity at all.
Why not?
I don't like too much attention.
Justin Bieber.
Why Justin Bieber?
Because he just won an award, a Grammy, so.
But he's also like 21.
I guess it'd be Ryan Gosling or something.
Why Gosling?
Because girls love him.
Borat.
Why Borat?
Because I like what he does.
What does he do?
You know what he does.
They don't want us to ask questions.
They don't want us to get good answers.
They don't want us to win.
So we win more.
Thanks for tuning in, guys.
It's been a blast.
That's good.
I like that.
Hey guys, what's the biggest struggle a BCIT student has?
Well, that was a wide variety of responses.
Yeah, this school has a lot of personality. If you have any questions or comments regarding this program, please visit us online at bcit-broadcast.com or bcitbroadcastnews.ca. I'm Roisin Nair.
And I'm Conley Mostert. That was this week's BCIT Magazine. We leave you now with shots of Fort Langley.